Why do some people stay broke and other people become wealthy? I'm not talking about the ones that were born into wealthy circumstances. I'm talking about the ones that were born poor, but they say, no, I'm going to break this generational cycle and I'm going for wealth. Okay, so I posted online today on my social media and I asked my audience, what they thought it, the reason was because some people stay broke and others are wealthy. Well, here's some of the answers. They said drive, work ethic, wanting something different, being a go getter, having vision. And I would agree that all these things can definitely contribute to wealth. I would absolutely agree. I watched a video this morning on YouTube, and if you want to look it up, it's called You're 60 Minutes Away from Never Being Broke Again. And it's a podcast. The company or the people that were doing it were called the Hard Knocks Podcast. And they were interviewing Myron Golden. And I don't know how I've gone through 51 years of my life and not heard of this man until recently. He's amazing. So if you have the chance to watch it, again, it's called You're 60 Minutes Away from Never Being Broke Again. Myron, Myron Golden is who was being interviewed. And I love his perspective. He went from, they call him from trash man to cash man. And he is just a delight. He was talking about why he felt like people were broke. And I'm just going to summarize a little bit. I'm going to look at my notes to make sure I'm giving you all the details. He said they make the mistake of thinking where they are is who they are. Has that been you? Have you told yourself, oh, because I was born into this, that's just my lot in life, or because I'm in ruralville, I'm stuck. Gosh, with these days with the internet and all the digital marketing opportunities, I mean, people are making more than lawyers and doctors in the digital marketing space. And I stumbled into this space a little over a year ago, and it is blowing my mind of the opportunities. Anyway, back to what I was saying. So he also said to get their identity from, or they get their identity from their environment instead of from God, who is the ultimate identity. So basically, authority is always an identity issue. If you are thinking, oh, well, I'm not much, I'm just this lowly person here, it's your identity that needs a shift. It's those old paradigms, those old ways of stinking thinking that, oh, that's success and wealth, that's just for others who are extra special, not me. No, guys. And I'm not picking on you because I used to be that person who would think that as well, that success is only for the few. And if we think about it, really think about it. Now, I don't know if you believe in God or not. I do. But if you think about who we came from, whose spirit we have parts of inside of us, we were created by God. Think about that. Let that sink in for just a little bit. And then that might help you remember or know what kind of potential you have. All right. He also said everything in our lives pours out of our identity, who we see ourselves as. I remember growing up and I would look at adults and I was kind of quiet. And I don't know if I was shy or just didn't have a lot of confidence, but I always said it was shy. But anyway, I would look at other adults speaking and I was like, wow, they're like my mom specifically. I remember, when she would talk to her friends and she just seemed like she knew what she was talking about. I was thinking, I'm so quiet. I don't even want to open my mouth because I guess I felt like I wasn't, whatever I was going to say wasn't going to be very smart. Guys, I'm sorry, but that is one of my things I've had to overcome in life is, overcoming the system that I was put in public school where I was just comparing myself to others and didn't think that I was very smart. And it comes to find out I was very smart. That just wasn't the right way for me to learn. So anyway, I'm a mom that homeschools. And so I'm very thankful my kids get to have a different education or a real education. But anyway, we won't go on that topic. So I didn't have a very good opinion of myself, and that showed in my posture, in the way I carried myself, and on into my teenage and young adult years out at college. And anyway, I know better now. I know who I am. I've had experiences in my life that have reminded me who I am, and most recently an experience where finances took my family down to the lowest of the lows, rock bottom. And I finally had to go dig deep and say, hey, I don't want to live this way anymore. I know there's more out there. I know that there are people who are, you know, out there doing things that they love. They're in a life that they love, and no more to this. No more to this money, may I, and no more to this scarcity mindset. And so, cumulatively, years and years of listening to, people that talked about mindset and the law of attraction, and now I've specifically targeted, I get it what it is now. It's that the way we portray and do life is dependent upon how we think about ourselves, our identity. So let's see what else he said. If you see yourself as poor, then you're likely to do activities that make you poor. Makes sense, right? You're like always looking to, I mean, I won't say people that are savers and want to thrift are in just a povertish mindset. It's fun. Like, even if I have all the money, had like tons of money, which I know is coming, but I'm still going to want to get good deals. I'm still going to want to not just blow my money, because I want to save my money to be able to go serve. Anyway, you don't know who you are based. Oh yeah, this is why people get in trouble. Let me go back. You don't know who you are based on whose you are. And that's one thing he said is, why don't people, that was Myron's response to, why don't people, why aren't they successful? We forget who we are, basically. We forget that God made us as beautiful beings. He also said every good and perfect gift comes from above. Even if we work and receive, God is the one who gave us the ability to earn it. So even if we're out there doing all the things, we're seeing some success, well, who gave you that opportunity to be here, to be able to grow and learn? Yeah, it's him. And then the last thing he talked about, which I loved, is gratitude. And gratitude is something that's free, right? Does it cost us to be grateful? No, in fact, I think it brings more things into our life, but it does cost us, I believe, if we don't show gratitude. I think God will I don't know, but give us. I mean, I think we can attract more when we are grateful for what we already have. I mean, God, he doesn't want us to suffer. He wants us to be abundant. He doesn't want us just to survive. He wants us to thrive. So, I love his statement. He says, gratitude is something everyone can afford, but so few people are willing to pay for. Pay for by taking the time to sit down and wake up in the morning and say, I'm so grateful. And then, you list the things. So, and the last thing that the interviewers asked Myron was, if you were to die tomorrow, what would you want to leave with the world? I mean, this guy's a successful man. I haven't really looked, but maybe he's a billionaire. I don't know, a few times over. I don't really know, but I know he's very, very, very financially successful. But I also know that he very much gives credit to where credit is due. And he said, you were made to serve God and serve others. And after being on that financial roller coaster that I just got off of not too long ago, because I experienced what it felt like to have to scrape by, the embarrassment of going to the grocery store and not having enough to pay for groceries, having to put groceries back, having to be the no mom when my kids asked me for something that would have helped put a big smile on their face. Okay. I said no more. So if you're out there and you're tired of just surviving and you're not excited to get out of bed in the morning and you're ready to say no more, I hope this message touches you today. There are things out there that can get you out of your financial predicament. And it doesn't have to take long. You just have to anchor yourself with a new identity and remember whose you are.